Yay! Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are all doing great. As you can see, I am not home. I'm in my traveling studio. Yay! I'm so excited about it. I told you guys before, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that I was getting my new trailer and we got it and we are in the mountains and we are having such a fabulous time and I love this trailer so much. It is so cool. But anyways, so Anne is not going to be with me today and she's not going to be doing her live because she is at one of the shows. I believe she's at the H&H show. Hi, Laurely. And I can't remember. I know she's going to be filming little bits and pieces here and there from the show. So I haven't talked to her all week long because I knew she was busy and I was busy, getting my trailer put together. And oh, thank you. I know, isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? You guys, looky. I don't know if you can see all of it. Yeah, I have my big, beautiful TV and a fireplace back here. I love it so much. Hi, Isabel. Yes, it is good to catch up with you too. Yeah, so she's going to be filming some little blurbs here and there, and she'll post them on Facebook for you guys to see as she's going through the show. So it's just going to be me today. It looks like a yacht. Oh, I love it so much. The windows are very big and it gets lots of light. And, our other RV that we had before this one had only one slide out. So this one has two. So there is a lot of room in here for my husband, me, and our two wieners. So, it's been such fun to come up this trip with the new trailer. A lot of work because you got to empty out the old trailer and get that cleaned up so you can sell it, and then you got to put everything into the new trailer. Yeah, it can be a little crazy, but we're having fun and I just absolutely love all of the room that we have now. And I love the light in the wood and stuff that's all around because our other RV had darker wood. So this is all very light and you guys know me. I love lots of color and light and fun stuff like that. Hi, Becca. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It is just the coolest. And I cannot wait to come again. We still have another week, so we're going to be here another week. But then we're going to be back, I think, in June. We're coming again in June for 3 weeks that time. So, yeah. Their RV every Memorial Day. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm telling you, these things, depending on what you get, can be a house. I mean, we don't have that big of a one, but it's a good size. I told Rich the other day, I said, can we just live in this? Can we just move in here? He's like, yeah, no. What? I would love to just live in here, but I can't. So anyways, all right, so let's get down to some business and let's get busy doing some crafting today. I wanted to create this very fun project. This actually sits on my desk. And I had a one similar to this years ago that sits on my desk, and it has my name and stuff on it, and something about it's Lisa's place or something like that. So I decided, I was like, I want to recreate this because you guys know me. I love doing home decor stuff. I love doing cards and, and things like that. But I also like my stuff to be out on display, especially since a lot of times it takes me a long time to create something, so I like to be able to leave it out so I can look at it. And this is just something fun for your craft rooms, just personalize it to your own likes and, whatever. And alls I used was some die cuts, some paper, and a couple miniatures. And this is what I created. This fun little, it's just a little table decoration. And of course, I had to have my wieners in there. So I've got one in the house here and then the other one in front of the bench. But I love this because it's just, I don't know, it's just cute and it's colorful, it's fun, and I can just sit and look at it. And it combines my love of crafting in different areas other than paper, because I do love to do general crafts. I love working with miniatures. I know I've told you guys this before a million years ago, but my mom and dad had a miniature business, and I did all of the food. I created little food um, items for their miniature business, and it was just, it was so much fun. But I was a lot younger then. My eyes were better. My hands worked better. So I could really get in there and do that little miniature stuff. But, as I'm getting older, it's like, yeah, no, not so much. But hey, I still made this. I made it to share with you guys today. It's quick, it's easy, and it is really a whole lot of fun. So, as I said, what you can do with yours is you can just go ahead and decorate it, however you want. You don't have to use miniatures on it. You can use, anything. So it's just up to you. But it is fun. It does make me smile when I'm working and I'm stressed out about something, and I can sit and look at that and go, okay, that's what life is all about, right? Just hanging out and, being with my dogs. And, that's where I get a lot of my creativity too, is to just, kind of decompress and enjoy outside and that kind of stuff. So, all right. So that's what we're doing today. And as I said, Anne is at the H&H America show, so she is not going to be doing her live today, but she will be posting some videos here and there from the show. So you guys, make sure that you check out those. I know she's going to post them on Facebook. She'll put them on YouTube too, I would imagine. If not, we'll put it on YouTube once I get home and everything. So let me just switch cameras real quick, and then we will get started because it goes fast and it's so much fun. I can't wait to show you guys. All right, so let's switch our cameras here, and we are going to change. There we go. All right. So let me move this out of the way for right now and just show you really quick what I was working with. So what I used for this project was Impression Obsession dies. I've used these before. I know that they're out of business. You can use any type of floral die, anything like that you want. It does not have to be a particular one, but just to let you guys know that these are the ones that I used from there. And this was for, the grasses, and then of course the flowers that are on my project, and these little vines. So love that. And then to create the sign, I used this die set that I've had, and I used this before. I've had this one for a bit. This is from Spellbinders. I'm not quite sure if they still have it or not, but again, you can use any type of sign or anything. It does not have to be this particular one. Just whatever you can find that will work for you. Use what you have. That's my motto for today. Use what you have at home. Hi, Karen. Hi, Helen. How are you guys? And then, of course, the papers that I used were from Lawn Fawn. These are their, I think, last spring. I think these are last spring, but beautiful papers in here, 6x6 pad. So it worked perfect for this project. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get started. And you're going to start off with this white fence. Okay. Now, the one that I found, I got mine at Michael's. So they come in a pack of, I think there's 6 in there, and they are like this much longer. Okay. So I didn't want anything that big. So I cut it down to where I only used 6 of the pickets. And I wanted to tell you guys too, if you did not want to use, your dies and whatever to do your flowers and stuff, use the little tiny flowers that you guys have seen me use on multiple projects. I didn't do that with this one because I wanted to show you another way to use your dies that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make a card or something like that with them. You can actually craft different stuff, which you guys all know, but I just wanted to share that. Okay, so what you're going to do is I just took my straight edge and I just cut it had 4 pickets on it. So I just cut that extra off and I stuck with the 6. And then I took a piece of foam core board. And the foam core board is 5 inches by 2 3/4. Okay, so it's just a regular old piece of foam core board, and then I just covered it with a piece of pattern paper that you can see. So that's how we're going to start. And then let me flip on my glue gun here. I was going to do that as I was talking, and you know I can't do 2 things at once, so I forgot to turn it on. Yeah, no big deal. We can make it work. Okay, so this is what you're going to start with. And then you're going to take all of your little doodads here and cut out all of these fun pieces to add to your base. And I'm going to show you all the cool stuff. And the funny thing is about this project, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do before I left, right? Because I have to get my project in my head of what I'm going to do so I know what to pack. Well, I was so excited to come to my new RV that I forgot like so much stuff at the house. And, at one point, Rich and I made a run down to the Michael's store because there's a Michael's close by so I could pick up other supplies. But I didn't bring a stamp pad. I went brain dead. I went absolutely brain dead. So what are you going to do, right? All right. So these are all the adorable little pieces that you're going to cut out. Okay. And then these are going to be for your flowers. And then also for your stand. We're going to work on that in just a second. I was hoping that my glue gun was going to hurry up and get busy, but I don't know if it is, but we're not going to worry about it. So what we're going to do, okay, now you're going to see here, I had the different grasses. This is what I put in the front. I'm going to show you that in a second. And then these were for my sides. Now this is the post for this actual sign. And because I wanted it to have a little bit of stability, I went ahead and I cut a piece of white cardstock from the post, from the die, and then also 2 other pieces that are going to be for the front and the back. And that'll kind of give it a little bit more stability for you. So while we're waiting for the glue gun, we'll just go ahead and start putting this stuff together. And I'm telling you, I walked out without my regular glue. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't. That was the issue. I was not thinking. All right. So we're just going to put these pieces together. And as I said, this is just going to give you a little bit of stability for your little sign. And you can do what I did where you could write on it so you can personalize it your own, or you can, make a little graphic if you know how to do that on your computer and add your sign that way. Um, I was going to print it, but I don't print well. So my handwriting is much nicer than my printing. So I decided, I'll just handwrite it. All right, so we're going to adhere these pieces together. There we go, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to set this off to the side here. And then I'm going to take these little pieces, and these are going to go on my fence. So again, we're just going to take some glue. And this is actually wood glue that I'm using because I left my other glue at home. And I just so happen to have this. Whoops, this is going to go this way. I just so happen to have wood glue in here in my trailer. So I thought, oh, perfect. So we're just going to add a cute little accents all over our fence here. There we go. So sweet. And Rich is here today, thank goodness. So we do not have the issues that we had a couple of weeks ago with my girls. He is keeping them in line, because you know what it was like a few weeks ago, especially with my Ruby Doo, my older Doxy. She was very vocal that day. I watched the playback of the video and I was like, oh my gosh. I said again and again to myself, but I was talking to you guys, I'm so sorry, you guys. But it worked, and we work from home, so you just got to kind of roll with it. All right, so we're just going to add these right onto our fence. And again, this is a pretty quick and easy project. You're not going to have, there's not a whole lot of time putting this together. So it's just, for me, it's always about the design. That's always what takes the longest for me. But since I already had kind of an idea, since I had one at my house already, that, it was a little easier this time, although I did change it up some and kind of made it more, I updated it, is what I want to say. There we go. So you're going to add your little vines on there, just like that. Okay, and then next, we've got all of our little flowers here. Now these I had already cut out and already glued the two pieces together. And I did not put my nails on this time because I thought there is no way I'm going to be able to use all these little pieces with my nails on, especially because I didn't have my picker up. I left that at home too. So I was like, well, I am just losing it all together. All right, so then we're going to work on this piece of grass here while our glue gun is still heating. This is going to be for our front piece. And we're just going to start and just add these. See, so lots of gluing on this, but not much of anything else. But you just want to make it fun. There we go. Oops. Yes, I am very, very glad that I did not do my nails, because that would have been a nightmare, especially without my picker-upper. Okay. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I will be home next week, so I'll be doing my live from home in my studio next week. And I think we're going to be working with some resin. I thought, because I told you guys I've been wanting to play with it. So I thought now is the perfect time I've got, some free time up being here, so I can just go ahead and work on um, playing with that to see what I can come up with. So I'm kind of excited to share that with you guys. So there, as you can see, I'm just kind of plopping them in there. We're going to add this one. But I thought that would be loads of fun. All right, so we've got this one, and then we're just going to add a couple more on the other side here. There. Add one right about there, and then another one right on the end. Okay, and hopefully my glue gun will be nice and hot by now. All right. There. So that's going to be for our front piece, and then we're going to save these for something else. Now, let me test my glue gun. Oh, yeah, I think it's pretty hot. Feels it. Feels like it. All right. Test this here. Yep, good job. All right. Oh, no, no, no. I do not want hot glue on that. So we are going to cover that up. I don't want hot glue on my mat. All right, there we go. Okay, let me scooch over here just a smidge. All right, so now we're going to set this stuff off to the side for right now. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just finish gluing. So for the sign, what you're going to do is, I know that you can't tell with this because the pattern on here is so light, but this is, I did cut one of these out from the pattern paper and then one from regular cardstock. And I did that just to give it a little bit more stability also. All right, so we're just going to add a little bit of glue here. And this is from the Spellbinders. Sorry about that. From that set. And then as you can see, we're just going to glue those together. And that is just, as I said, just to give it a little bit of stability. Because you're really going to want stability when you start adding the jump rings and all that on. Trust me. Okay, there we go. All right, so for your sign, you'll cut 2 of these, as I showed you. And then for the actual sign itself, you're going to cut 1 from regular cardstock, and then you're going to cut the layer from white. And then this is obviously what you're going to add your sentiment to, or your name, or however you're going to put it together. Okay, so from here, we are going to take these 4 little jump rings, and we are going to put those, where's my nifty? Yep, there we go. And I've already poked the holes in my sign here. So right now we're just going to open these jump rings and then put them in the sign. There we go. Now I added 2 on each side just to give it a little bit of hang. Whoops. Don't want to lose those. And I'm not closing them right now because I want to add those other ones. So I'll close them one. Well, shoot. All right, let's clamp this. Make it easier. There we go. Uh-huh. There. All right. And then lay those down. And then we're going to take these last two. Whoop. All right. Let me get it there. There we go. And we are going to run these through the little holes here on our signpost. So we're going to add that one there. And then we're going to put them together. Okay, so I'm going to close this one off. There we go, just like that. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. I'm going to open that up. There we go. And add that one. So I thought it would just be kind of fun just to do, something a little different today. Because I do like to, like I said, I do like to craft other stuff. So that's why I thought this would be fun. All right, so we've got our jump rings there, and then you're going to take them here and put them onto your other jump rings and close those all off. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and that's just because it's small and you're working with, little small pieces, but it is totally doable. Even for me and the issues that I have with my hands sometimes. Okay, now let me get this other one up here. Come on, there we go. And then just put those two together. Maybe. No. Nope, it's going to come out. All right, there we go. And then there we go. And then we're going to close that. Okay, so now you have your little sign. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to add this. And we're just going to adhere that right to the top up here of our sign. So we're going to add a little bit of glue. There. Okay. And then we might as well just go ahead and finish this off since we're here. So what I did is I just added a couple more little flowers onto my post. There we go. So we're going to add one there. And I'm looking to see what you guys are saying. Oh boy, you guys, there's popped in and talking while I had my head down. Happens all the time. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Kim. Hi, Raylene. Oh, you guys. Oh, thank you, Becca. Yeah, like I said, you did not want to see me do this printing because my printing is terrible. And my handwriting used to be much, much better, but it's gotten a little sloppier as I've gotten older. All right, so we're going to take just some little bit of glue here, and we're going to add this flower right up here on the post, just because I thought it looked cute. No rhyme, no reason. My husband tells me when I showed him, I was like, look, what do you think about this? And he was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he's like, but that butterfly is like as big as the whole thing. My butterfly. And I was like, do not even start on me. It does not matter if it is dimensional or not. The fact still remains is that it was cute and I liked it. So, but he always, does the serious thinking as I do the, yeah, whatever. All right, so now we're gonna put our stuff together. So our glue gun is nice and hot. And what we're gonna do from here is add our fence first. So we are going to add some glue here to the bottom of our posts. And oops. All right. And then just line that up and adhere it. Okay. There we go. And you can get the glue off of your mat here. Okay, so that's on there. Nice. Okay, that's on there. Sturdy. See, as you can see. Okay, and then we're going to add this bigger piece of grass. I'm going to add that right to the back. And you only see when I added the elements on, you don't really see the back of the grass all that much, but you can still see it a little bit. So, I didn't want to just leave it blank because that would just be boring. And you guys know I am anything but boring. Not even part of my vocabulary. All right. And then we're going to just add this right on to the back of our fence here. Scooch it. There we go. See? Fun, fun, fun. There. So we've got our back on there. Okay. And then we're going to work on putting our sign in. So what I did for this, got my scissors here. Okay, so what I did for my sign, I wanted to stand it up and measure it to see if I was going to cut it off or, what I planned to do with it. And I decided I wasn't going to cut it off. I'm just going to leave it as is. So obviously you cannot put this into your foam core board because it's not going to stick, and it's not going to stick well if you just try to glue it here at the base. So what I did was I just took a little toothpick here, and we're going to add some hot glue to the back. Don't you guys love this glue gun with the light on it? Oh my gosh. I love this thing so much. All right, so we're going to add that on, and I am not too terribly concerned about the toothpick because you can't really see it. But if it's something that is going to bug you, we don't want any of that. So what you can do is once you glue it on, then cut another of the fence posts. Cut another one and then just adhere that on top, and then that will cover your toothpick down here. Okay. So obviously by adding this, you're going to make it really, really tall, but I still did not want to cut anything off until I put it through. So I put mine right about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a tiny little, do a little indent there. And there it is, my little pokey tool. And then I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to add that right in there. And then let me see, there we go. Okay, so now that is a little bit too tall. So no worries. What I can do is I can go back in and I can cut off that end. Just cut, just until you get it how you want it. There we go. All right, let me make sure before I glue it in one more time. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so from there, once you have it punched in, then you're going to go ahead and just take a little bit of your glue gun and just add it right around the base. And then that will hold it in place. And it really does a really good job. And again, you're not going to be seeing the glue and stuff because you're going to have your other decorations in the front. Okay, so to finish it off, we have our front piece that we're going to add here at the front. But I also wanted to add the side pieces because I did my front first. And then I was like, okay, that's really cute. But I didn't like that it was just empty over here on the sides. So I went ahead and cut out these extra grass pieces, which I used the same pattern paper as here. And obviously we're not going to use the same amount or the same length because we're just doing this one part right here. So you're just going to cut this extra piece off. And we'll set that off to the side over there. And then you'll do the same thing with this one. Flip it over so I can see where I cut. There we go. Okay, so now you just run a little bit of glue on each of your sides. Now, I don't have the other benches, I don't have a second bench and all that to finish it off. But when we're done with this part of it, then I'll show you guys once again so you can see again what it's going to look like. So you're going to add this one on each side. Okay, just like that. But what you want to do is you want to make sure when you're putting this all together, do your fence, decorate that first, put your flowers and stuff up, make sure you have everything lined up and up where you want it, and then put your furniture or your miniatures, whatever you're going to use, then put that in lastly. It's just easier to work with if you don't have all that on there first. So again, we're going to add another piece right here to our side. There we go. Add that right on there. Oh, see? So cute. Love it. And two, you do not, because your flowers here are very delicate. So you don't want to be messing with these being in the way when you're trying to decorate other things too, because they are, they're very delicate. Now you could make them thicker if you wanted by just doubling or tripling up your die cuts and adhering them together in pieces like I did with the post here. So however you want to do it is fine. And then we're just going to take this last piece right here and we're going to add this right to the front. There we go. Okay, so we're going to add this right here. Press that down. There we go. And then, so now you have your little area. Isn't that adorable? And then, of course, go back in here like I did with mine. Whoops, let me move this out of the way. And, add your little miniatures or whatever else you're going to add there. That's what we were talking about with the butterfly, because the butterfly is really big, but come on, it was just too cute to leave off, right? So that's why we had to add it. But absolutely, a quick and fun project, but it's perfect to put in your little area, your crafting area. Like I said, mine sits right on my desk, and I just like to just sit and look at it because I think it's really, really cute. Oh my goodness. It doesn't take much to make me happy, does it, guys? All right, so there you go. All right, let me turn my glue gun off here. We're going to switch cameras. And there we go. And if I ever get my my switcher figured out, it'll make it so much easier to switch cameras. But I bought one and then I have not had a minute to figure it out. It's life. It's what happens. All right, so let me look really quick to see what you guys have to say. Oh, all right, Karen. There you go. Karen says, great segue project for Eileen Hall's new release coming in May. Yes, she does have a new release out. But this is one of the reasons why I love spring so much, because, I like doing things. I like doing crafts, that I love lots and lots of color and that kind of stuff. But I like to do stuff like this with fences and stuff because I don't know, it just makes me happy. And because I can look at it, because if I try to be a gardener or whatever in real life, no, 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 no. I would kill everything. I am not good at gardening. So I live vicariously through my crafting. I have my own personal little gardens that I don't have to water or anything. And they just look really, really cute. So there you go. All right, you guys. I will go over. Oh, I see Dorothy has a question. Okay, Dorothy. The die sets, I'll show you again. The die sets that I used for this was Impression Obsession. Now these, because I've had them for a while, and I always tell you guys, use what you have. So you just want something that is going to be small. These are just regular grass dies. I used the smaller one, and then also the bigger one. Here we go, this way. Okay. And you might still be able to get these on Amazon. I did not check, but you can try there. You don't need these. You can use any type of dyes that have grass. And, the only thing about the flowers is this is the flower set that you just want to make sure that they're tiny. You see, because these are really, really small. So they worked perfect for this project. And then I used this one for the back for the vines on my fence. Okay. And then also for the signpost, I used the Spellbinders die set. This is a Stampin' die set. Now I've had this one also for a bit, and you guys have seen me use this because I've used it before. And again, it's just, it's a sign. They're all over the place. So that's why I felt comfortable going ahead and using something that I already had, because I knew that you could still find things like this that will work. Okay. If you don't have the exact ones, no worries. There's so much out there that you can use, in lieu of these particular brands. All right. So there you go. And if I do, Dorothy, if I get a chance, I will check on Amazon to see if they are available there. And if they are, I'll put the link in for you guys. And then also don't forget to, I'm going to put my blog post up. I know I didn't get last my last card thing done because we came here. Yeah, it was just crazy. So I've got 2 blog posts that I'm going to be posting. So I'll have all of the links and, you know, all of the materials and everything that I use, so you'll know exactly what you need to get to create this fun project. But, you know, switch it up, make it yours. I saw the cutest thing when I was in Michael's in the miniature department. Okay. If I hadn't already had mine figured out how I wanted to redo it, because like I said, I did one of these years ago. So I kind of had an idea how I wanted to redo it, right? And I wanted to do it in a garden scene. But I saw in Michael's where in the miniature department, they had this adorable little set that was for a cricket. It was like a little cricket machine and it had little things of vinyl. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I had done a desk or something like that, that would have been perfect for, you know, for this kind of project. And I almost bought it, but I was like, no, because I already have this one planned out in my head. But I might just go ahead and make that up another time. Not for you guys, because that would just be redundant, but you know what I mean. But it was just so adorable. You know, all the cute little things. It had the little tools, the spatula tools and stuff that you use for your crickets. I loved it. I'm telling you, if it's out there, it's usually in miniature too. So no worries. All right. Check out the miniatures and see. Yes. Yes. And, you know, okay, Dorothy, you be safe and we'll see you next week. Yeah, it's just so cute. And Michael's, you know, they don't have a big selection, but you know, book nooks are coming out. I mean, they're back out again. They are right. They're very popular right now. So you're seeing a lot more miniature stuff out. And, you know, I have a tendency to kind of, you know, gather to miniatures because I love them so much, you know. So I kind of like, you know, gravitate. That's the word I wanted. I gravitate to them. But you can find tons of them online. Amazon's got tons of them. They're everywhere. And probably Amazon would probably be a little bit less than Michael's as far as cost wise. So check them out, see what you can find to make your own creative little corner, you know, and just a cute project to put on your, you know, put in your craft space. I love it. All right, you guys. So that is it for me. Yes. Yes, Hobby Lobby. Yep. And I noticed too, Becca, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, they're all going into more of home decor stores, which really irritates me because they're supposed to be craft stores, and I see them going more off into, you know, home decor and things like that. Not that I have anything against home decor because I love it and I love making home decor, but it's already made. So, you know, I want my craft store to have crafts in it. Just saying. All right. So that is it for me, you guys. Thank you, Isabel. I will be back in my studio next Wednesday because we're leaving Tuesday. So we're going to do some, like I said, some resin for next week. Maybe some jewelry or something. I don't know. I'll think of something fun. All right. So until next time, you guys, do not forget to like, comment, and share my video here with the hashtag Bella Crafts. And I will be announcing this week's winner next week once I get home. And then I'll send out, you know, I'll send out some product or something that I have at the house from our sponsors. So I don't know what yet because I can't remember what I have in there, but there's some stuff in there. So there you go, guys. And you take care of yourselves. And like I always say, don't forget to take some time to craft because it's good for your soul. It really is. You guys have a wonderful week. I will see you all here next week. Take care. Have fun. Bye. Love you. Bye, guys.